And we're live! Hey guys, I'm Robert Lee, the executive video producer and founder of Shalala Productions, where we create marketing videos as well as providing live stream services with a focus in the medical and education sector, as well as a specialty in pop culture. This is Verbose Wednesday, and I'm here with my co-host,
Matt Haas. Hi, everyone. I have a lot of YouTube channels. I'm a YouTube expert, a tech expert, and I love video, and I love video production, and I'm thrilled to be here.
And that
Robert's pushing buttons.
And I'm pushing buttons. I had everything all set, but it's just like, where? And I'm like, wait a minute, I have it keyed up. Hang on, let me see if this works.
I should have been more verbose. I mean, it is in the title.
I forgot to add the trigger to switch over. I know. It's like, you don't need to announce like what your problems are.
Yeah, don't say what didn't happen. Just
don't
roll
say
with it.
Just roll with it. So anyway,
Paul Weber in the house. Did you see Paul Weber? Hi, Paul Weber.
Hey, Paul. How's it going? Sorry.
How's my audio loudness compared to Robert's audio loudness? We'll get that professional opinion from Paul here if he's listening.
Yes, I know. Like I had the pleasure of speaking with Paul earlier, and my hope was to be able to live stream from the green screen studio, and so I got as far as working on the levels as you speak, but there were some other technical challenges I need to address, so I thought it'd be appropriate to work with a known environment that works, and not be like, is this working? Hello? So, oh yes, I'm getting away from our topic of the day. It's still continuing the theme about troubleshooting, and we're just focusing more on the editing, the content portion of it. And I thought it'd be cool. I'm going to turn it over to Matt, which it addresses, I think, in his Yes program. So, Matt, I'm going to let you take it away here as I'm trying to figure some stuff here.
Okay. The official word is Paul Weber said I was lower volume than you, so I punched myself up a little bit. So hopefully that's better. So yes, Robert mentioned the Yes Challenge. That is the YouTube Essential Skills Challenge. It's a challenge I will be hosting. It starts Wednesday the 30th, and it's a weekly video editing challenge. I will give you a task to perform in any video editor that you choose. I will explain why the task is important, why the task helps YouTubers or any platform. But the whole point of all of these challenges is to get people watching your video the whole way through. You don't want them jumping off halfway. YouTube doesn't like that. Your audience doesn't like it. So this will be a focus on getting people to engage the entire video. And that's what you want. That's what you want. And all of these techniques will be easy to do. They'll be easy to perform in any video editor that you want. So I'm excited about that. And let me do a share screen. Hopefully Robert can push the button and let the screen sharing come. Oh, he did it. Look at that. Boy, he's so fast. He's so fast. You start by signing up for the email, because this is driven by an email newsletter. It's as simple as can be. You put in your email address, first name, and you click this radio button that says you want video challenge messages. You hit subscribe. This will send an email to your inbox right away. You have to find that email in your inbox and push the button so you're connected. And then once you do that, you come over to the All Things YouTube Facebook group and you request to join the All Things YouTube Facebook group, because once you edit your videos, you'll post them here, and other people in this challenge will be in this Facebook group. Now, there's also a community there already. Many won't be doing this challenge, but everyone's awesome, and it's It's going to be a lot of fun. The thing about this challenge is my company, All Things YouTube, is very pro-business. I believe that one reason you should be on YouTube is to grow a business or reach an audience so you can do impactful change or teach them something or entertain them. But you got to kind of run it like a business. And because of that, self-promotion is acceptable in this challenge. So if you want to promote your business, that's fine by me. If you do other things in the YouTube group, you can also do self-promotion for other posts in the YouTube group outside of the challenge, because again, there's other people there and they're posting stuff all the time. I just ask that you give as much as you take. So if you're promoting outside of the challenge in the Facebook group, that's fine, but you just have to kind of join the conversation, post interesting articles, answer people's questions. You know, you just can't dump all your self-promotion onto that group. But if you're doing the project videos and the project videos has self-promotion in it, fine by me. Fine by me. There's going to be one lesson a week. Again, it'll be delivered by email. And then sometimes I will give you project files that you can edit. Sometimes I won't. But when I do give you project files, you can either use my files to complete the project, or you can shoot your own. You're always able to shoot your own. Some lessons you'll have to, and some lessons you won't have to. The first lesson, you have to shoot it yourself, because it's going to be an easy. Well, they're all easy. They're all easy lessons. And why am I doing it? I'm doing it because I want to make YouTube a better place. I'm tired of mediocre videos on YouTube. YouTube is a direct connection to the world. You do not need anyone's permission to be on YouTube. If you have something to say, you can say it, and you can reach a worldwide audience if people want to hear what you have to say and see what you have to show them. And having engaging videos that are fun to look at and fun to that is what the challenge is about. It's going to up your video game. It'll get you more subscribers. It'll get you more watch time. Watch time is what YouTube wants. That's the total amount of eyeballs on the clock watching your stuff. It's the metric that runs YouTube. And what you don't want is people, if you publish a minute video, you don't want them jumping off 30 seconds in. That's bad news. And all of these lessons are going to keep people watching. It's called the YES Challenge, YouTube Essential Skills Challenge, YES for short. So you can sign up for the email and you can join the Facebook group. I should probably put some of these links in the chat room. I think it'll let me put links in there, won't it?
I hope so.
This is the email. Oh gosh. Sign up. Okay, first link's in, and I'll dump the second link in now. Do you want to see something cool?
Let's see it.
Okay, so I'm pretty happy about this. You know, I'm a graphic designer by nature.
Okay.
And it's something. Oh, am I sharing again? Yeah. Okay. Can you put me full screen?
Yeah, sure. Just give me a second. Let me find it. There you go.
I didn't know it would go right away. So this is a little page that once you get the email, it'll point you to here. And I have the watch first message, which kind of gets you set up. You have some resources down here. And then underneath here, I'll stack up all 8 lessons historically, so they're all in one place. But look at this cool little banner that I created. I think that's a pretty clever header because the letters knock out when they go over top of me because they have this slightly greened but translucent shape, but that's not there. I'm in color and everything else is tinted green, and this letter kind of isn't the same as the other ones. I just that's a 5-layer Photoshop file that I used to put that together. Do you like it? I kind of like it. I think it was a neat little graphic treatment. This has nothing to do with the challenge, other than this is the home base to collect all the lessons. But I'm just pretty happy about this banner. And then I glowed the logo here to pop that out a little bit. So let me stop sharing. There we go. I like to share some graphic design stuff. And big shout out to Dory. She's in the Live Streaming Friends Facebook group. She did some color analysis for me and helped me pick out some complementary colors that goes with my green. Because a lot of times I'm just monochrome with my color scheme. But I found some nice other colors. I found this like almost dark red, but not completely dark red, and a dark orange and a dark blue that on the color wheel kind of match my green that I always use everywhere. So anyway, I'm thankful for that too. Graphic design. I like graphic design. I think it's fun. So
I can dig it. I mean, after all, I mean, you did the Roast Wednesdays logo there, so which is pretty spiffy.
Yeah.
Or actually, let me see if I got the right.
You were right on it. Yep. There it is.
Yeah. I've still got to work on my centering, although I tend to be a little antsy moving around here. So, okay. So, I kind of teased earlier about prototypes, and I was before we went on, I was showing to Matt there, and what we've been doing is, I forget the name of the company, but they were doing like these paddles, and to help people with whether they're live streaming or they're video conferencing. So if there's issues with their audience, or they're in a group setting with their members or whoever's on the call, and they have these like pre-made signs to help out with challenges. So, for example, earlier as I was trying to figure out with the vMix Cell Show, which I'm still having some issues, that's another story. If for whatever reason, if I'm like in the middle of something and people were asking me, well, what's Rob up to? I could always say. And so it's the idea that if I was hoping I can get some feedback just as to like what people's thoughts are about these signs, like are they helpful, types of messages and stuff like that. I know for one thing, like a common issue, whether it's in a video conference or in any settings, sometimes people forget that their mics are mute, so you can just do something like, and if you're going back and forth and they're jibber jabbering away and they don't know that they can't be heard, you can just simply go.
I like it.
Yeah. And at worst, you know, like how like sometimes like if someone has a bad connection and they get a little pixelated and stuff like that, but they don't know it, at some point they might see you and you could just do something like.
You have a bad connection. Nice.
So,
nice.
And of course I've been trying to keep up with Matt. So, anytime he gives the, I'm ready for you.
Nice.
Now I'm finally up to speed with the. Well, I still got to work on some of the other emojis, but I'm working on it. In fact,
slap like now.
Oh wait, wrong one.
Please say that again.
So yeah, so I'd love it if people can give me some feedback on the prototypes, just to get some ideas as to what the thoughts are. You know, if there's other messages that are more common, those are the ones that just came up. I might have a couple others that we had, but it's a little bit well, let's just say it's more of a colorful messages, I guess. Nothing.
Did
bad
you find like one of those drop shipping companies that will manufacture them to order and ship, or is this like a brand new product category?
I know, I forgot like the company that makes it with paddles if what product category that they have, but because we're using different materials, um, I guess it's just a matter of just finding like the right companies that can make it.
Oh.
So
So like
we
Teespring doesn't have one of these, or anything. Redbubble or
offhand, I don't know. I'll have to double check, but I
okay.
mean, but we just kind of went the grassroots crank them out there. So me and our crack team had put together, so we thought we'd just put some prototypes there just to skid it. So I kind of like it just because you can get these sticks anywhere from like dollar stores, and it's just a matter of just finding like good cardboard material for it. So, um,
For
but
the
yeah,
prototypes, or are you thinking about manufacturing these yourself?
I wouldn't be surprised that for a small run we might try to manufacture. But I mean, if it gets to the point where we need to scale up, then yeah, the organizations you mentioned would be ones we could check out. But I think right now it's the early stages. Like, are people interested? But I think it's a fun thing. At least for me, I know I can use it. So if I'm on a Zoom call or on a production and I'm with a client and I could just tell them. So, but yeah, so that's the prototypes I alluded to earlier. So I'll just be looking forward to see the feedback people have.
Cool. All right. You heard that, audience. What do you think? Let us know. Let Robert know.
Yeah, and in the meantime, while that's still in the works, what's already been created are these coasters that we have made up. Matt, I know I owe you one. This to send to you. Oh wait, that doesn't work. But yeah, I mean, if people are interested, just drop me an email and let me know you're interested, and just a matter of just knowing like where to send it, and that'll
What's your
be
email
appreciated.
address? I'll drop it in the chat.
Sure, it's robertl at shalalalaproductions.com with an S. So just shoot me an email. Just make a reference you saw this video episode 15, and then we can try to get folks hooked up. So those were the two fun things to mention, but
Great.
not to get away from our. Oh, this didn't work. I had it working before. From the topic of the day regarding troubleshooting content, um, my thoughts were because of what I've been doing a lot is live streaming videos. It's just a matter of just finding a unique approach, whether it's a workflow or just getting some creative ideas of just how to jazz up the types of videos that you can present. So I think what's neat about your program, Matt, is just to see like the type of creativity of people's responses to the challenges and assignments of what they crank out. My hope is that that'll help kind of like set off some inspiration of the types of approach that you can do. Because the only two I could think of that are known are pretty much taking the actual episode of a live stream program, they just upload it and watch it as is. And then the other where it gets a little bit tricky, and that's really more towards the individual or the group's goals and purposes when they edit it. I know that there's a couple of techniques some people would do, like if they actually do it within the program. Let's say like you have like a start, middle, and end, and then you define one of the three sections where you would have like content video that you can just pluck out as one option, which I guess, depending on, how it's used, it could work, but I think then you run the problems because the whole purpose of live streaming is that you want to interact with your audience. And so when you do that, I don't know, it kind of defeats the purpose, but at the same time, I can understand where if you're pressed for time and it's a workflow issue, that's a possibility. Or what some would do is just, I think, depending on where they extract the video and maybe just kind of, lack of a better word, gussy it up for like a different format, where I think in most cases they're promoting the show. That makes sense.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, I've gone back and forth with it. I hope like with the Yes program, it might give some ideas where there's a different take and stuff. But
It might. These are really strategy things that you're hitting on. Yeah, it was around two main items, if I understand what you said correctly. Let me play it back to make sure we're on the same page, if you don't mind. So
okay.
the last thing you mentioned was taking small clips of a live stream to put out there elsewhere on the internet to promote your live stream. Like
Right.
that's one use case.
That's one use.
The first use case was going live, engaging with your audience as normal, but have a section of your live stream where you don't engage and you just deliver your content full on with the intention of cutting out all the live interactions and using that snippet as a standalone video that would be evergreen and be relevant for a long time.
Right. So that
Were
was
those
the
the two use cases? Yeah. Okay.
Correct. Yeah.
Well, I have some thoughts. Do you want to hear my thoughts?
That's what we're here for.
All right. For the first use case where you're ignoring your audience to deliver your content during a live stream and then using that as a standalone piece of content, doing it because you're pressed for time might not be a good enough reason to do it. But doing it because you are good at on-camera delivery and you're polished and you can nail it that one take, then yes, in that instance, if you're a professional and you're comfortable on camera and you can make that the time that you're delivering and ignoring your audience, if that is short enough that it won't cheese off your audience members, in that specific use case, thumbs up, I'm in. Most people aren't in that specific use case. They're really not. I mean, a lot of people are getting their feet wet live streaming and they're just not quite there yet. So I would caution people from doing that first use case. And the second use case where you just want to find small clips and use it to promote the live stream, yeah, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. That's exactly what you should do. You should do small clips of your live stream to get more people interested in your live stream. How else would you do it? Yeah. That's
Right.
all. Paul Weber has a comment. He says, is that what you call B-roll? B-roll is, it's not your A-roll. It's not your main content. A-roll is you talking to the camera in some way, in most cases. Let's just use that as the example. So B-roll would you would cut to usually footage that you shot earlier or you got off of the web that you can use for free of something happening that's relevant to the conversation. If you're talking about soccer, you can get B-roll of a 10-year-old kicking a soccer ball, and that could cut in while you're still delivering your audio. Like it could leave your talking head scene, and then it could go to this canned video of a 10-year-old kicking a soccer ball while you continue talking. That's B-roll. B-roll.
Exactly.
But, yeah. The Yes Challenge, I also hope it will inspire people, but I'm really focusing on the techniques. I just want people to pull off the techniques. You don't have to do masterpieces in the Yes Challenge. If you deliver a video, as clunky as it may be, if the techniques are solid, that's all I'm worried about. Because the idea is you will use that technique on your own stuff later. Like that's what I want. Like, oh, I didn't know that existed. Now I can use that if I wanted. Or, you know, I've seen people do that, but I don't think it's going to work for me. Well, in this challenge, you'll do the exercise and then you might like it. you might use that technique. So I'm focusing on technique. But as I said, all things YouTube, we're business focused. If you want to pull off one of my lessons and have it be like a little teaser for your business and you want to use that lesson as a promotion tool elsewhere, hey, that would be wonderful if it aligns that way. It might not line up that way, but yeah, the skills. I'm teaching skills. It's the skills that I'm going to focus on, not making a masterpiece. That's but yeah, and inspiring. Yeah. And I hope the skills inspire real work to be done on their own and running their own business. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes like I'll admit, sometimes I get a little bit hung up on the operation side of just on the execution. So, but that's generally because the the tone is already set based on you already know what your messaging is, and just kind of like focusing on like what's the best way to capture to illustrate that. So, and there's a lot of ways you can go with that. Depending on what you're doing, whether you're creating a demonstration, a promotional video, even like a talking head. I mean, I think as long as it's well thought out as to like what your messages is that you're trying to get out there, and then I think my hope is that it helps with the process of what's the best way to exemplify it. So if you're like a what's a good example? I don't know. If you're big on making staplers, you just try to find ways as to like are you focusing on the actual creation of it? Is the message about like the pride of work you take into it, or just your surroundings of a community of staple lovers and how you want to make the best stapler. So I think
you're moving into content troubleshooting for your content. Yeah.
Yeah. So that way, once you kind of focus on the content of itself as to like what are you trying to present to everyone, then I think the creation helps amplify the message. So I think a lot of times the best way is the simplest way is just, I hate to use the elevator pitch example, but if you're able to say it in one sentence, then I think it helps clarify in terms of like making decisions in your creative choices. So
Pre-planning is what you're getting at, right?
yeah,
The more planning you do up front, the easier it will be to capture the video and then edit the video to your vision.
yeah,
If you don't have a good vision, I don't care video or not. If you don't have the end in mind, you have to begin with the end in mind.
yeah.
Like that's one of the 7 habits of highly successful people. Did you ever read that book?
I think I don't know if it was either in high school or college, but I can't remember.
The publisher didn't want to publish the book because they said this is just too obvious. Just obvious things. But one of the 7 lessons was begin with the end in mind.
Right.
Successful people don't start anything unless they can visualize the end.
It's funny because like I don't know if it's more of a real life observation, but you know how there's a lot of emphasis about staying present in the now, but at the same time, like if you're focusing on a project, you kind of want to know like where your end is, so that way it kind of help plan for what you're trying to create. But but I don't know. I mean, it surprised me sometimes people kind of forget that point, and so the challenge is to try to get that out of them, and if not, then I think then it's just a matter of just kind of like advising as to like, okay, what you create may not be as to what the end goal is if you're not really clear. So it's
exactly, yeah.
It's just a matter of just trying to help them get that idea. I don't know if I would use a driving example where you know how to drive, but if you don't know where you're going, why drive?
That's pretty apt, I think. Yeah. With how-to content, because I have the Awesome with Things channel. I mean, there. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
Bam, I got the rainbow.
Yeah, see.
With this type of content, I build something. So I film myself building it, and then I cut it together, showing myself building it. It's not a hard thought process to get through. Now, as I get more skilled at it, you can add a lot of flavor to it. Like, so if I'm painting something, I can just show myself painting something, or I can zoom in on the paint can and pop the lid off of the paint can and slap my paintbrush into it and then cut out and then show myself painting. Like, that's sort of a different style to the whole process.
Yeah.
But as far as content troubleshooting, if
Well, for me, it's like finding a good audio technician to get those sounds.
Yeah.
But that's the producer mindset in me, so I know that's not the point here. But
I like to, if I can, tell a story with my troubleshooting.
let's hear it.
And not tell a story with my video. And then troubleshooting comes in if if things aren't meshing up pretty well. People like story. They love learning about what happened to you. They love learning about interesting things that happened in the past. I've done artwork about the band Queen and Freddie Mercury, and this was on my Awesome Wood Things channel. So the video was about me building something, but while I was building it, on the voiceover, I put in facts about the band and about Freddie. I had facts about how his voice spanned 4.5 octaves, which is very rare. And then I did just different things about the band, how they were approached, the way they solved problems, the relationship with his girlfriend, Freddie. And it was just an interesting flavor to the video, and I think that made it a better video. So how does that relate to troubleshooting? If you don't have story, smash a story in there somehow. And people relate to it. And if you can make the story generic and they can see themselves in the tale that you're telling,
Right.
Oh, that's so much more valuable, because you can say, don't do this technique, you might hurt yourself on this tool. Okay, that's good information. But if you could do a story, one time I was working in the wood shop and it was repetitive, and then I got a phone call and it broke my rhythm, and then I was doing the steps out of order and I almost hurt myself. Like that is something people can relate with, because they're like, oh, sometimes I get phone calls. And if you can relate it in a story, then that's a good thing. And boy, man, my heart stopped one time in the wood shop because I broke my rhythm. I did, because I wear ear hearing protection. I don't know if you want to hear the story or not, but it was.
Let's hear it, if you pardon the pun.
I was using the router table, and the router table has a spinning bit popping up in the middle of the table, and it spins very fast, and it's very powerful. It's probably one of the most powerful things in the shop. Nothing will stop that bit from spinning. You can jam a piece of steel into it, and it's still going to spin. It's not stopping. If your fingers touch it, it's going to just... Anyway. So I was, doing repetitive tasks, and then I had to do something with the dust collection, and I fixed it, but I was out of rhythm, and I thought I had turned the router off.
Okay.
I thought it was off.
Yeah.
It wasn't off. It was off in my repetitive workflow, but I was out of sequence.
Okay.
And I was pushing sawdust near the spinning blade where it could get sucked away. Mm-hmm. And I had to stop myself. I'm like, is that really off? And it wasn't. If I'd have pushed my hand into that blade, I thought it was off.
Yeah.
But I had to stop myself, because I just said, I broke my rhythm. I better double check things.
Right.
Because I had to adjust something elsewhere.
Right.
And I came back to it. And since the headphones were on, I really couldn't hear the tool. I mean, you can kind of hear the tool, but the music was on too. So I was paying attention to the music. I didn't realize I was also hearing through the earmuffs that the tool was still... Anyway, so... troubleshooting content. Don't add story and make it relatable, and you'll get people watching your stuff longer. They'll hang on longer. If you just say, don't do this, it might hurt you. That's not as engaging as putting a personal story into it. So, yeah.
I almost thought you were going to be like a PSA and say, like, only you could prevent forest fires.
Well, I was going to do a whole series on shop safety, and I thought it would be like a good evergreen content, but I would add a different flavor to it, and it would be fun and engaging, and I would be snarky, and I would, I would pitch it to, do you have any friends that don't know how to use tools? Send them this video. So there would be like encouragement to share it out. So I was thinking through the content strategy. I might do that, but it's just not fun. It's not fun to do a video on safety. It's fun to make stuff. I like to make cool stuff, but yeah.
Right.
And as far as other content stuff, the only troubleshooting I have to do, well, not the only thing I have to do, but one thing I do every now and then is, when I don't capture in camera properly, if I shoot something that's blurry, and I didn't realize it was blurry when I'm shooting it, so I will always check, double check, triple check that when I'm capturing it at the moment,
right,
it's good, because it's hard to fix things in post if they don't have to be broken.
Right.
Yeah, so if I'm getting in front of the camera and I'm talking, I usually have to say something 6 times before I like it. And if all 6 times there was something wrong in camera, at the time that I would notice it, I would be upstairs, I would be away from where I am, and it would just be hard for me to identify it, and then hard for me to go back down, set everything all back up. A pound of, what's the saying? An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. That's so apt in video production. Capture it properly at the source, and check and double check, and then never stop checking and double checking. Have it be part of your routine. So
I thought you were gonna say, was it like in the wood shop? It's measured twice, cut once, or something like that. Yeah. That's what I was thinking. So
I've never learned that lesson.
Oh. I'm more like,
so content troubleshooting. This was an interesting topic. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's just interesting. Just that I think a lot of people get hung up on the technicality and the marketing and the strategizing and the logistics, that I think they kind of forget the end goal of just making sure that the video you create reflects what you're trying to say. And so I thought it'd be kind of fun to talk about that. And you can tell, regardless of what platform you're watching from, as whether it's how well thought out it is. So some of it might come off kind of like a PSA, kind of clunky, that's from the 70s and stuff, where the message is a little bit hollow or wooden. And then there's others that there's a lot of great effects and work put into it, but then when you hear the content or how the message is, it's a little bit imbalanced as to what. So I thought it would be kind of cool to kind of talk about that, just as more of a reminder. Or the short answer, or the short thing to say is, everyone's got like a different style. It's just a matter of just making sure your message comes out clear.
One more tip along those lines,
mm-hmm.
and then I'm done.
Okay.
And it kind of has to do with live performances versus edited performances.
Okay.
2 times, well, I'll use 2 examples. I did something live and delivered great content, and then redid that content as an edited video, much shorter, with great success, because I delivered. One example was I had 22 tips for how to talk to the camera, and I went live, and I did it live, and it was an hour worth of content to deliver these 22 tips. After it went live, I shot the video and redid the content, cut it down to 9 minutes. That's my 4th most popular video on the channel. If I'd have kept the hour and just had everyone go to the live stream, that would not be my fourth most popular video on the channel. Second example, someone else did a live stream on how to tear apart a tool. I have a very common tool. It's a scroll saw, and scroll saws last for 4 years, and then they need serviced, and you throw them out, you get a new one. Well, you can service it. You can break that sucker down, grease up certain parts, and make certain repairs that happen, and put it back together, and the thing will run for a decade. There's a lot of videos out there that capture this process. It's a long process. Think about unscrewing things, doing stuff to the parts, and putting it all back together. It's a long process. The most popular video was 4 45-minute videos. It was a 4-video series on how to do this. 45 minutes each. So that's a long time. I took that content, got it down to 9 minutes 50 seconds.
Nice.
And that is the third most popular video over on my other channel. I mean, people were watching those 4 45-minute videos on how to do that process. And I shot that sucker, and I removed every piece that wasn't absolutely needed. I only had what you needed to know. Boom, 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 with a voiceover. And that video is doing awesome.
Nice.
So, live video, edited video. There's 2 examples of how to have successful content strategy and have successful videos out there. So, yeah.
So
I'm all about cutting out the fluff, baby. Anyway.
Speaking cutting out the fluff, I apologize for those. I'll admit I'm having a little trouble with the vMix Social of pulling up the comments, but it wouldn't be feared. Just I know that Sammy and Paul are real troopers to be able to watch it, so I did a makeshift solution.
The last comment I got was, maybe my thing's not refreshing. I haven't. Yeah. Oh, Sammy, I haven't seen a single comment. Oh no. Yeah, I think my play page kind of froze up on me.
Yeah.
I was watching. I'm like, no one's commenting. But
yeah,
they were. I just didn't see it.
Yeah, so that's why I'll share behind the scenes. I'm kind of like the monitor I have over here to view the comments. So that's why as I'm listening to Matt, I'm also just making sure that not to ignore our audience members. It's just that
I did not mean to ignore anyone, people. I'm sorry.
No worries. It's just more of a technical issue. I thought I had everything ironed out, but
I got it.
vMix Social's getting a little bit testy there. So, but the great thing about
Sammy, thank you, Paul, for the comments, even though I didn't see them.
So they were just kind of joking around, and they were like, I think they were like giving the thumbs up of some of the comments we made earlier, which I have to check the timestamp as to when they came in, but appreciate it, guys.
I dig it.
So,
snap a like on the video. Oh, Paul's got to go. It's his bedtime.
All right.
He's in England.
So. I was gonna unveil this later, but I think it's more apropos.
Oh, I did have that sound bite, but I took it out.
Oh, all right. Well,
I got that one. Oh, dude.
What's that?
You know, I like that Harris Heller. He has a YouTube channel, but he's mostly a streamer. He has a library of music you can use for free. And it has 4 different genres of music. And it's all background track, no lyrics. Mm-hmm. But it's all original songs that he vows not to copyright strike you anywhere. And it's for free. You don't even have to pay for it. It's royalty free, 0 cost, with no penalties, no risk to use it. And the one genre he has is all 80s synthesizer stuff.
Really?
And the one track is called San Fran Synth O. Not San Francisco, San Fran Synth Uh-oh. Do you want to hear the royalty-free track that's 80s inspired that I just freaking love? All right, here we go. Oh, that's not it. Hold on. I got to switch to a different page. Okay, there it is. Can you imagine you're slapping on your roller skates at the skating rink in 1983?
For some reason, I think of the Michael Jackson song Thriller, the way it starts off.
Yeah. Anyway, I just thought, wow, that's pretty badass. Anyway, San Francisco. That's
okay.
What it's called.
Nice.
I love it. God bless the Rodecaster Pro. I can't remember which earlier show, but I remember like you were just introducing the Rodecaster Pro, so I'm glad that you got a chance to play around with the different features and such. It's a beast, man. I love the thing. I'm totally underutilizing its features too, but man, what it does, it's so well thought out. Everything it needs, it has. Everything it doesn't need, it doesn't have. It's lacking very little, but someone just thought through everything. It's amazing, and the record button is freaking huge. Like you see these other mixers, and the record button is just like a little dot.
Right.
It's a big freaking huge button. I don't know. I like it. Well, kudos to the Australians that put that sucker together.
Exactly.
Our friends from the land down under.
That's men at work, right?
What? Yeah, well, yeah. There's a song called I Come from the Land Down Under.
That's the extent of my music knowledge, folks. So, if you start to make reference to any others, I'd be like, huh? What? Steak? But, all right. Well, I guess I'm tapped out, but, let me see if I can get something to work here. This is just a reminder of folks that, there we go. If folks are interested in getting a verbose shout out, episode 12 will show how to sign up for it. And just as a thank you for filling out the information and sending us email, we'll be glad to do a shout out on the show. And just as a demonstration, I know it's only for once, but just got to make it up for Sammy for coming out and watching us. All right, that's enough. Stop!
Yeah.
All right.
I'm glad you dropped the volume levels down on that. Thank you.
Yeah, that was editing. Troubleshooting, because when I was first playing around with it, it was hitting the audio pretty loud. I'm like, oh, good thing I didn't hear that live. So tapering it off, it is. So yeah, and in the description and I think in the post we had the link for people to sign up for the Verboso Wednesday shout out for those that are interested. And
get your free shout out, people.
Yep, all it is just I was gonna say drop us a like, but I don't know if that works. But hey, and then the other thing is just a reminder, just as usual for folks that are to get more information regarding on how you can help with Black Lives Matter. You just go to blacklivesmatter.com and the NAACP.org, as well as still offering for those that need help to either promote the hospitals and frontliners, whether raise money or raise awareness. just continue offering the complimentary live stream service. Just reach out to me. The link's in the description, as well as if you happen to watch it on the replay. And that's about it. So, before I sign off, Matt, were there any final thoughts that you'd like to share with everyone?
Go sign up for the Yes Video Editing Challenge. You can find the Facebook link at allthingsyoutube.com. Scroll to the bottom and join the Facebook group. You can take it from there.
And, oh, hey, here's something fun. Brenda Gibson had just sent us a message saying that Tarzan yell needed more cowbell.
Yes, yes. She's notorious for her cowbell. You listen to Brenda. She gives free advice all the time.
I'll have to look for a cowbell. I'll have to work on that. I'll work on that, Brenda. So
she never guarantees it's good advice, but it's always free. She has comedy over on her channel, Brenda G's Designs. Brenda G's is plural. Brenda G's Designs. Look that up on the YouTubes and hit that red button.
So there you go. So on that note, as I look for cowbell, not sure if I'll have it for next week. You've been watching Verbose Wednesdays. I'm Robert Lee, and I'm with
Matt Haas.
So stay safe, everyone, and thanks for watching.